Namaskaram and welcome to Prabandhams and Stotrams. So we are learning periyAzhvAr Tirumuri, padigam number 1.5, which is called tanmugattu. It's part of Sri periyAzhvAr's Yashoda Bhavam. Specifically in this padigam, Yashoda is celebrating a paruvam or a stage of childhood called Ambulik Paruvam, in which the child wants to play with the moon and calls the moon to come and play with him. And in this case, Yashoda does all the talking with Ambuli, negotiating his coming down to play with little Krishna. So we have covered the first 5 pAsurams, and today we will try to learn about 4 more. And to continue a tradition that we started last week, and that seems like an oxymoron, a tradition that started as far back as last class. So what we are going to do is I'm going to start with a prayer that I wrote as a poem in Tamil and also as a poem in English, essentially a prayer to Emperuman for the class to go well. So I will recite it just by myself. Arvargal Achariyar Arulayu Ulahinile வாழ்வார்கள் தம்மிடையே பரப்பிடவே ஆழ்வானே ஞாலத்தில் அணுவின் சிறு மதியுடை இவ்வேழைக்கு காலத்தில் அருளாயோ கார்முகிலே. So the grace or the blessing of the Arvars and Acharyas to spread it among those who live on this earth. O Lord who rules him, that's me. So to this poor soul endowed with wisdom smaller than an atom in this world, won't you give your blessing in a timely fashion, or one who resembles the rain clouds. So anyway, so that poem is in kind of a Venba structure in Tamil. The one on the right is an English poem that uses the iambic meter. The saint composer's grace, and yes, preceptors too, to spread it far and wide. O Lord who rules his soul, alas, his wisdom small, an atom sure to shame. Your blessing won't you give, O cloud that bears the rain. Okay, so with that out of the way, so we'll return to Paduttaniyangal, which we will chant together. Let me just get the Shruti set. Ramanujadaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanathāryam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Sri Shailesha Daya Patram Dhi Bhaktyadi Gunarnavam Yatindra Pravanam Vande Ramya Jamataram Munim Lakshmi Natha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmad Guror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye Mata Pita Yuvatayasthanaya Vibhuti Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Madanvayanam Adyasya Nakulapaterva Kulabhirahamam Srimad Tadanghriyugalam Pranamami Mudna Bhutam Sarasya Mahadahvaya Bhattanata Sri Bhakti Sarakula Shekhara Yogi Vahan Bhaktangri Renu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Srimad Parankusha Munim Pranatosmi Nityam. Now the periyAzhvAr Tirumuri Taniyangal. Guru Mukham Anadhitya Praha Vedana Sheshan Narapadi Parikluptam Shulkam Adatu Gamaha Swasuram Amara Vandyam Ranganathasya Sakshat Vijakula tilakam tam Vishnu chittam namami. Minnar tadamadil sor villibuttur enrorugal. Sonnar kaழற்கமலம் சூடினோம் முன்னாள் கிழியறுத்தான் என்றுரைத்தோம் கீழ்மையினிற் சேரும் வழியறுத்தோம் நெஞ்சமே வந்து பாண்டியன் கொண்டாடப் பட்டர் விரான் வந்தான் என்று ஈண்டிய சங்கம் எடுத்தூத வேண்டிய வேதங்களோதி விரைந்து கிழியறுத்தான் பாதங்கள் யாமுடைய பற்று. Now the pAsurams 1 through 5. தன்முகத்துச் சுட்டி தூங்கத் தூங்கத் தவழ்ந்து போய் பொன்முகக் கிண்கிணி ஆர்ப்ப புழுதி அலைகின்றான் என் மகன் கோவிந்தன் கூத்தினை இளமாமதி நின்முகம் கண்ணுள ஆகில் நீ இங்கே நோக்கிப் போ. தன்முகத்துச் சுட்டி தூங்கத் தூங்கத் தவழ்ந்து போய் பொன்முகக் கிண்கிணி ஆர்ப்ப புழுதி அலைகின்றான் என் மகன் கோவிந்தன் கூத்தினை இளமாமதி நின்முகம் கண்ணுள ஆகில் நீ இங்கே நோக்கிப் போ. என் சிறு குட்டன் எனக்கோர் இன்னமுது எம்பிரான் தன் சிறு கைகளால் காட்டி காட்டி அழைக்கின்றான் அஞ்சன வண்ணனோடு ஆடலாட உறுதியேல் மஞ்சில் மறையாதே மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவா. சுற்றும் ஒளிவட்டம் சூழ்ந்து ஜோதி பரந்தெங்கும் எத்தனை செய்யினும் என் மகன் முகம் நேரவாய் வித்தகன் வேங்கடவாணன் உன்னை விழிக்கின்ற கைத்தலம் நோவாமே அம்புலி கடிதோடிவா. சக்கர கையன் தடங்கண்ணால் மலர விழித்து ஒக்கலை மேலிருந்து உன்னையே சுட்டி காட்டும் காண் தக்கதரிதியேல் சந்திராச்சலம் செய்யாதே மக்கள் பெறாத மலட நல்ல இயல்வா கண்டாய் அழகிய வாயில் அமுத ஊரல் தெளிவுரா மழலை முற்றாத இளம் சொல்லால் உன்னை கூவுகின்றான் குழகன் சிறீதரன் கூவக் கூவனி போதியே புழையில ஆகாதே நின் செவி புகர் மாமதி. Okay, so this is where we had stopped the last time. So let me quickly summarize the content of the first 5 pAsurams. So essentially, Yashoda is trying to use all the techniques available in her arsenal to try to win over the moon, to have him come and play with the little Krishna. So the first she says, what good are your eyes if you don't see him? The implication is that the sole reason that we have been created, the sole reason that we have been given the senses, etc., is to experience Emperuman, and of course that Emperuman is in the form of little Krishna here. And she also wants the moon Ambuli, that she knows all about his tricks. So she says, don't you go hiding behind the clouds. So she wants Ambuli about doing that deception, but not doing that deception. And then in the third one, she's actually trying to overcome the Ambuli's ahamkaram by essentially saying, you may be beautiful, but you know what? You will never match my son's face because he's far more beautiful than he. So beautiful though you may be, but you will never match my son's face. So she's trying to deal with his ahamkaram, putting him in his proper place. And then in 4 and 5, she tries to shame him by saying, are you a childless man who cannot appreciate a child? Or do you want the world to make fun of you as one who is unable to appreciate the beauty of a child, what the maralai of a child, etc.? So it's an attempt to shame Ambuli. And the same thing holds in the next pasuram as well. So here she says, that do you want the world to think that you are deaf because my son has been calling you for a long time and you have been disregarding him? Do you want the world to think that you are deaf? So anyway, so those are attempts to shame Ambuli. And then you will see the other tricks or techniques being used by her as we go on to the next few pasurams. Let me go to pasuram number 6. Okay, so pasuram number 6 is kind of an extension of the previous pasuram in which she said Chakkara Kayyan. So she has already said that Emperman, that little Krishna, is the same one who holds the Ari, that Chakram, that Sudarshana Chakram in his hand. So you can think of it as an implicit threat. She kind of informs Ambuli about the potent weapons that little Krishna has in his arsenal. And this is an extension of that. So here she's going to say that he has a lot more weapons. And so we will see what those are. But she's also going to say, are you cruel enough to inflict pain on my child? Because if you don't come and play with him, he's not going to sleep. And if he doesn't sleep, the food that he ate, the milk that he nursed from me, that is not going to digest. And as a result, that indigestion will cause him a lot of pain. And you, Ambuli, will be ultimately responsible for that. And are you so cruel as to inflict that kind of a pain on my child or any child for that matter? Okay, so that is the essence of pasuram number 6. So here's the summary of the pasuram. Oh, glorious moon that resides in the sky. So remember that whenever possible, Yashoda tries to use flattery to try to get him to change his mind so that he can come down and play with little Krishna. So she says, oh, glorious moon that resides in the sky, mine is no ordinary child. So I want to emphasize to you that this is not any ordinary child. You may be seeing millions of children every day as you go around your appointed round. But let me tell you that my child is no ordinary child. He has great big hands. He's got tremendously big hands. And he holds some very interesting weapons in them. He holds the mace known as Kaumodaki. He holds the disc known as Sudarshana. And he holds the bow called Sarngam in his hands, all of which strike fear in his enemies' hearts. And so the implication is that this ought to strike fear in Ambuli's heart as well, in the moon's heart as well. And she continues to say, so you see, that's a subtly dropping hint about what could possibly happen. So this is not an explicit threat yet. The explicit threat will come later in a couple of pasurams from now. Right now, she's merely informing Ambuli that he has a large variety of weapons in his hands. And then she goes on to say, obviously, right now he's feeling sleepy because I can see that he is yawning. But you know, he won't sleep if you don't play with him first. And if he doesn't sleep, the breast milk that he had will not digest. So she kind of tries to build a logical bridge between what the Ambuli has done, which is to ignore the child's request, and the ultimate pain that the child will suffer from indigestion. So she says, he won't sleep if you don't play with him first. And if he doesn't sleep, the breast milk he had will not digest. And then she goes on to say, are you cruel enough to cause indigestion pain in a young child? And that to my child, O moon, you had better come running fast. Okay, so that's the nature of this pasuram. So there are a couple of things happening here, making implicit threats or dropping subtle hints about the weapons that he possesses, and also laying the guilt trip on the moon by saying, are you cruel enough to inflict pain on my child? Okay, so let's go through this pasuram and learn its padavurai, the word by word meaning. Thandodu Chakkaram Sarngam Yendum Tadak Kayyan. Tadam means large hands. So Tadam means large, Kayyan means hands. So he has large hands, that is my child. He has very large hands. And what does he hold in his hands? He holds the tandu. Tandu is the mace known as kaumodaki, and chakram is the disc, the Sudarshana chakram, which has already been referred to in a previous pasuram. And then sarngam is that bow. So in his large hands, he carries all of these things, the mace, the chakra, and the bow. So he holds all of these in his hands. So the implication is that you ought to be, you ought to fear for your life because he holds such potent weapons. Kan tuyil kolla kardi, tuyil means sleep. So with the intention of going to sleep, kan tuyil kolla kardi, so with the intention of going to sleep, kottavi kolhindran, kottavi is yarn, kolhindran. So he's letting out a yarn. So you see, because he really needs to go to sleep. So he intends to go to sleep, and that's the reason that you can see him yarning, oh Ambuli. So you don't have much time left. You better hurry and come and play with him because he needs to sleep. And then she goes on to describe what will happen if he doesn't sleep. Uranga vidil. That is, if he doesn't go to sleep, and then the implication is that he's not going to go to sleep until the Ambuli comes down and plays with him. So she says, Uranga vidil, if he doesn't sleep, unda mulaikpal, so the breast milk, mulaikpal is breast milk, unda is what he had, so what he consumed. So the breast milk that he consumed, ara kandai, ara means will not digest, kandai means, oh, you see. So if he doesn't go to sleep, the breast milk that he consumed is not going to digest, you see. Vindanil manniya maamadi, manniya means to reside, Vindanil means in the sky. Maamadi, oh glorious moon, so big moon, glorious moon. So, oh glorious moon, this is part of that continued flattery that resides in the sky. Viraindu odiva, so come running, that's what odiva means. And viraindu means come running fast, okay? So that's the meaning of this pasuram. And so let's see how we can elaborate on this. So the main thing here is that she is dropping hints about additional weapons. We've already seen about the chakram, so we won't repeat anything more about that chakram. Maybe just a little bit, but not as much. As far as the tandu is concerned, of course, the glory of the tandu or the mace, the kaumodiki, has been described in the Panchayata Stotram. So as Yashoda says, so Ambuli, I'm letting you know that he holds the mace in his hands, the chakra and sargam. And have you ever read the Panchayata Stotram, Ambuli, about the glory of this kaumodiki, the mace that the Emperman holds in his hand? Well, let me tell you. So that verse from Panchayata Stotram goes something like this: Hiranmayim Merusamana Saram Kaumodakim Daitya Kulaika Hantrim Vaikunta Vama Grakara Bhimrushtam Gadam Sadaham Sharanam Prapadye. Hiranmayim, you see, Ambuli, the mace is golden. Hiranmayim Merusamana Saram, it shines like Mount Meru. Kaumodakim Daitya Kulaika Hantrim, it is Kaumodaki, the destroyer of Rakshasa clans. Vaikunta Vama Kragra Bhimrishtam Gadam Sadaham Sharanam Prapadye, and which is lucky to be touched by the left hand of Vishnu, and I surrender always to Lord Vishnu's mace. Okay, so you see, Ambuli, this is not just any ordinary weapon. This is a very glorious weapon. So you better take note of that. And Ambuli, I've already told you about the chakram, the Sudarshana chakram. And you can see that I'm going to give you one more example. You see in periyAzhvAr Tirumari, where he has a Mangala Shasanam of Tirumalirum Cholai, Aragar Kovil, if you will. So periyAzhvAr says, Sendrangu Vananai Ayiram Tolum, Tiruchakkara Madanal Tendri Disai Disai Virat Chetrai, Tirumalirum Cholai Endai. So he talks to the Lord residing in Tirumalirum Cholai. And so he is bringing out the glory of the chakram, this Sudarshana chakram. You see, there was this Asura Ambuli called Banasuran, and this Banasuran had 1,000 shoulders. So what Emperman did was, when he battled him, he used this Tiruchakram, Sendru Angu Vananai. Vananai is actually Vananai so that's a summarized word. So the Banasuran, so his 1,000 shoulders, Tiruchakkaramadhanal, using this holy wheel, using that, Tendri, so he cut them off, Disai Vira Chatrai. So he really let the shoulders that were cut off fall in all directions. Disai. So in ella disaigalilum avai virumaru seidan. So Tirumalirum Cholayandai. So you better know, Ambuli, that this is not any ordinary weapon. It was able to defeat the Banasuran, even though he had 1,000 shoulders. The Tiruchakram was able to cut all of them. So better take note of its power. So we have talked about, so Ambuli, I've told you about this Tandu, I've told you about this Chakram, and let me tell you about this Sargam, the glory of this Sargam, the bow. You know, in Ramayana, Ambuli, there was this poet called Kavi Chakravarti Kamban. He really was a great poet. And the interesting thing is, whenever he had a chance, he really loved describing the valor of Sri Rama, especially in battles. So you will see, for example, that when Sri Rama prayed to the ocean god and the ocean god did not respond, Rama reacted by shooting an arrow into the ocean. And we saw that there were many, many verses in Kamba Ramayanam that talked about what the tremendous impact was of that of Sri Rama shooting that arrow. And similarly, when Sri Rama faced the demon called Karan and his army of 14,000 people. So just imagine this, Ambuli. There is Sri Rama standing on one side, a lone man armed only with a bow. And on the other side, you have 14,000 asuras, 14,000 rakshasas, the demons, and they have all kinds of weapons. And on the one side, Sri Rama, who believes in the rules of engagement. On the other side, there's 14,000 rakshasas who have no rules of engagement whatever. So you see, it's a very heavily one-sided, or ought to be a one-sided battle. But what happened was that Sri Rama, with that bow, with that glorious bow of Sargam, he was able to destroy all that army of 14,000 rakshasas along with Karan. And you know how Kamban describes that? He describes that very beautifully. There are many, many verses in which he describes that. And here is just one, Ambuli. So it says, Araittar silar, Ayartar silar, Arindar silar, Karindar, Urettar silar, Uyirtar silar, Urundar silar, Purandar, Urettar dirai Kuruvik kadal, Kulittar silar, Kolai vai, Madai Taregal pada paridai Madindar silar, Udaindar. Look at the cadence of that. Look at the ups and downs of this verse. Doesn't it tell you how powerful this Sargam was, Ambuli? Arettar silar, Ayartar silar. So all these silar means some of them. So some of the people in Kara's army of 14,000 Rakshasas, some of them cried because they were not able to face the arrows coming from that Sargam. Arettar silar, Ayartar silar. Some of them cried, some despaired. Arindar silar, Karindar. Some of them died and some retreated, some just ran away. Urettar silar, Uyirtar silar. Some of them bemoaned, some of them sighed because they were just giving up. They didn't know what to do. Urundar silar, Purandar. Some rolled and some just turned on the ground. Kurettar dirai Kurudik kadal, Kulittar silar. So the Kurudik kadal, Kurudi is blood. Kadal means ocean. So in the slush and ocean of blood that resulted from Sri Rama's arrows shot from that Sargam, in that sea and slush of blood, some drowned. Kulittar sila literally means taking a bath, but of course what it means is some drowned in that flood of blood. And Kolai means as the lethal tipped. Marai Taregal. See, it's like a rain of arrows, a downpour, it says. Marai Taregal. So as the downpour of lethal tipped arrows from Sri Rama's Sargam, Pada, as it hit them, Paridai Madindar Silar. Paridai means on the ground, Madindar Silar. Some just fell on the ground and died. Man, Udaindar. Some just broke. So what does Udaindar mean? What does it mean for somebody to be broken? It means that they lost their spirit and ran away. So it's a very beautiful pasuram, O Ambuli, Kavi Chakravarti has described the tremendous impact that the Sarngam, that the Emperor, that this little boy that you see was able to have on that very huge army of 14,000 Rakshasas. So please don't underestimate the power of the weapons that he has, okay? And on top of that, do you really want to be called cruel by people because you inflicted this pain of indigestion on a child because you refused to play with him, so the child was not able to go to sleep, so the milk that he had did not digest, etc. Okay, so anyway, so that's the essence of this pasuram number 6. And here's a poetic translation, again in the Anapesta meter. They're so mighty, his mace and his disc, and that bow in his hand so immense. But right now it's with sleep he contends. Note that yawn that's so cute he must sleep. If he won't all the milk that he nursed, it will fail to digest, don't you know? In the sky with great glory you roam. Oh, full moon, please do hurry and come. Okay, so let's now try to chant it. So I will chant it phrase by phrase. The first time I chant, I'll chant by myself. The second time I chant the phrase, you chant along with me, and of course you will all be muted. Tandodu sakkaram, Sangamendum tadakkayan, Sangamendum tadakkayan, Kanduyil kollakkarudi, Kanduyil kollakkarudi, Kottavi kolginran, Kottavi kolginran, Undamulaippalaragandai, Undamulaippalaragandai, Urangavidil, Urangavidil, Vindanil Manniya, Vindanil Manniya, Mamadi Viraindodiva, Mamadi Viraindodiva. Okay, now the whole pasuram together. Tandodu sakkaram, Sangamendum tadakkayan, Kanduyil kollakkarudi, Kottavi kolginran, Undamulaippalaragandai, Urangavidil, Vindanil Manniya, Mamadi Viraindodiva. Okay, so that was pasuram number 6. So now we go on to pasuram number 7. So the pasuram number 7, the essence of that pasuram, the bottom line is she is trying to let Ambuli know that he is no ordinary child, that he is in fact the one who consumed all the worlds at the time of the pralayam in order to save all the worlds, so that at this time of Srishti, he can bring them out again. So the bottom line question that she asks Ambuli, Yashoda asks Ambuli is, who do you think swallowed all the worlds during the time of Pralayam? And she goes on to say, you see, this is the one, this child is the one who swallowed all the worlds in Pralayam and lay on that tiny banyan leaf, okay? So that's again, so the idea is to let him know that this little Krishna is no ordinary child, so he should not think low of this child. So here's the summary. O full moon, O great moon, O glorious moon, again, trying to please him. You seem to be brushing him off, that is brushing off my child, thinking that he is after all a little child, a puny child. If that is what you're thinking, hear this. At the time of Pralayam, that great flood, which comes at the end of at the time of destruction, do you know that a little child swallowed all the worlds happily and reclined contentedly on a tiny banyan leaf? Well, who do you think that child is? Who do you think that was? Well, it was this little child, Ambuli. Yes, it was this little child. It was not somebody else. You are looking at him right now in front of you. And if you provoke him to anger, he can spring skyward in a blink and capture you without the slightest effort. You see, so there's also an explicit threat in this pasuram now. So she is now graduating, Yashoda is graduating from implied threats arising from stating all the weapons that he has in his possession. And now she says he can actually spring up into the sky and catch the moon can capture the moon without the slightest effort. So she says, without disrespecting this Thirumal, you had better come running with glee. Okay, so she lets him know that this is actually that Emperuman who swallowed all the worlds, so the Ambuli can properly understand his glory. And secondly, is capable of springing up, and he won't mind using that skill of his, that ability of his to capture him. Okay, so that's the summary. And now the Padavarai, the word by word meaning. Balan endru, Balagan endru, Paribavam seyyel. Paribavam means to make fun of, to mock. Paribavam seyyel. So don't mock. So Paribavam pesat dharikkahillain paviyenikkinge podaraye. So there's another verse in which Yashoda says, all the neighbors are complaining about you, and I'm not able to tolerate it, oh Krishna, so please come to me, come to Mama. Paribavam pesa, that is, as the neighbors talk ill of you, Paribavam pesa dharikka hillain, I'm not able to tolerate it. Paviyenikku inge podaraye, to this sinner that I am, please come, O Krishna. So she says that in another pasuram, also in Yashoda Bhavam, but I brought that up just to explain the meaning of the word Paribavam. You will see that word being used multiple times in periyAzhvAr's Yashoda Bhavam. So here Yashoda says, Paribhavam seyyel, do not disrespect him, do not mock him. Balahan endre, that is, he is only a child, he's only a little boy. So don't mock him or don't disrespect him by thinking or saying that he's only a little boy. Balahan endre paribhavam seyyel. Do you know that great story? Do you know his great glory? Pandu orunal, Pandu means once upon a time. Orunal, one day. Alin ilai valarnda sirukkan avan ivan. You remember that banyan leaf? On that banyan leaf, valarnda means kan valarnda. Kan valarnda means one who was napping. Kan valarnda sirukkan avan ivan. Sirukkan is the little one. Avan even, you know the one, that Avan who was lying on that banyan leaf, that the little child that was on that banyan leaf, and who had swallowed all the worlds and was taking a nap on that banyan leaf, that Avan is really this Ivan. That little child on that banyan leaf is really this little Krishna who is Purdi Alayhinran right now, who is playing in the fine sand that you can see Ambuli. So Pandu Urunal, Alin Nilai Valarnda Sirukkan Avan Ivan. Then Melara Paindu Pidittu Kollum Vegulu Male. So Vegulu Male means if he gets angry, that is, if he gets angry. Male Yara Paindu means he will spring. Era, he was so Paindu, so he will spring up skyward. Male Yara Paindu Pidittu Kollum, he will capture you if he gets angry. Malai madiyade mamadi majundu odiva. So this Malai here refers to this Thirumal. So Yashoda is essentially saying that this is none other than Thirumal. This is none other than Shriyapati, that Narayanan, that Emperuman, that Thirumalai madiyade. Actually, what it really means here is avamadiyade. So even though it looks like madiyade, what she really means is Malai Avamadiyade. Do not disrespect this Thirumal. Mamadi, O great big moon, O glorious moon, full moon. Magirndu Odiva. Odiva means come running. Magirndu means come running with glee. Okay? So essentially she's saying that he's the one who consumed all the worlds. So he's not any ordinary child. And he can spring upward in a jiffy without any effort, and he can capture you. So that's another reason that you should think seriously about coming down and playing with him. Okay, so that's the meaning of this pasuram. So let's try to elaborate on some of the aspects that are touched on in this. So here, it says, Yashoda says, all in ilai valarnda sirukkan avan ivan. He's the little one who was napping on that banyan leaf. There is no explicit mention of after consuming all the worlds, but of course that is implied. Okay, so oh Ambuli, you know that whole episode in which he consumed all the worlds and lay with contentment innocently on that banyan leaf. You know that Tirumangayalvar mentions very beautifully the many things that he consumed, you know, as part of saving the worlds. Just listen to this list, O Ambuli. Parar Ulagam. So this Parar means this very vast Ulagam. So this very vast world, this very vast universe, that was consumed by him. So it's really Tirumangayalvar Ambuli is giving a list of many things that were consumed by this little child before he started napping on this banyan leaf. Parar Ulagam, Pani Mal Varayam. Mal means big, Varay means mountains, Pani means cold. So the cold, big mountains. So that also he consumed Ambuli. And you know what? He consumed Kadalum. He also consumed the ocean. And there's something that is directly relevant to you, Ambuli. He also consumed Sudarum. So Sudarum Ambuli refers to two main things. The great orbs of light. One of them is the sun, the Surya Bhagavan, and the other one, Ambuli, is you. Yes, he consumed the sun and he consumed you as well. You better remember that. You better remember that the one who consumed you and the sun, that was then lay on that banyan leaf, that same child is also the child that is playing in front of me right now. So the sun and the moon, that's also in the list of things that he gobbled up. So these he gobbled up. Sudarum ivai undum yanak. And then even after consuming all of these, what did he say? Yanakku aradu ena nindravan emperuman. So even after consuming all of them, what did he say? He said, oh, he kept saying that my tummy is not full, Ambuli. Aradu ena nindravan. En vairu adangavillaye endru solli nindravan this emperuman. Okay, urupasi ondrenriye ulaganaye undanaye. That's what Ambuli Irangovadigal says in Silappadigaram. Something along those same lines is what Tirumangayalvar says in periyAzhvAr as well. This vast world, the big cold mountains, the oceans, the sun, and you, the moon, these he gobbled up, and still he kept saying his tummy is not full. And he is my Lord, she says. Okay, and this is also, oh, Ambuli, this episode is also referred to in Amalanadi Puran by Tiruppanalvar, where he says, Andaranda Pairanda Torumanilam Erumal Vare Mutrum Unda Kandam Kandir Adienai Uyak Vandade. You know, Ambuli, he was admiring the beauty of Emperuman's neck, the Kandam, Unda Kandam Kandir, is referring to that neck. So Kanta is neck in Sanskrit. When it comes to Tamil, it becomes Kantam. Anda Vairanda Turumanilam Erumal Vare Mutrum Unda Kandam. Here again, he's giving a list of some of the things that Emperuman consumed. And he says, the devas were consumed by him. And Anda Vairanda means all the worlds. Urumanilam, this matchless bhumi. Uru means matchless, the one and only bhumi, so the one that has no equal whatsoever. That bhumi and Erumal Varai, so these 7 mountains, the Eru Kula Parvadankar, all of these, Mutrum and everything else that I have not named, Unda Kandam Kandir, Avayallavatrim Unda Kandam, he refers to the Kandam, as if the neck swallowed all of them, because of course anything that swallows goes through the neck. So he gives credit to that neck rather than the tummy. But Undakandam Kandir, so look at that beautiful neck that consumed all of these things during Pralayam. And Adiyenai Uyek Kundade, that neck, that is the one that rejuvenates me, that gives me life. Adiyenai Uyek Kundade, he says. So you see, Ambuli, a lot of people have spoken the glory of this, of what my son did at the time of Pralayam. Let me just give you one more example, because this is very beautiful. And you've heard of Thiruvaimozhi Ambuli, it's written by Sri Nammalvar. And then it's very interesting that he puts it in this way. He says, Adiyarnda vayyam undu, ஆளிலை அன்னவசம் செய்யும் படியாதும் இல் குழவிப்படி எந்தை பிரான் தனக்கு அடியார் அடியார்தம் அடியார் அடியார் தமக்கு அடியார் அடியார்தம் அடியார் அடியோங்களே. The last two lines are very famous, by the way, which is essentially, this says that I am the adiyar to an adiyar of, so I'm an adiyar not just to Emperuman, but I'm also an adiyar to his adiyar and their adiyar and their adiyar, etc. So it's an infinite chain, more or less. But of course, Sri Nammarvar had to stop because there was only so many words that he can put in 2 lines of the verse. But the interesting thing, O Ambuli, that Sri Nammarvar says is that little child, it says that he didn't really consume much during Pralayam because he consumed only what was the size of his foot. Adi ஆர்ந்த வையம் உண்டு. You see, அவன் நிறைய சாப்பிடல, ஜஸ்ட் அவனோட கால் அளவுக்கு தான் சாப்பிட்டுருக்கான். அவனோட கால் எவ்வளவோ அந்த அளவுக்கு தான் அந்த குழந்தை சாப்பிட்டுருக்கு. That little child has consumed only as much as what the size of his foot is. But you see, the interesting thing, Ambuli, is that when Sri Nammarvar refers to the size of this child's foot, he's not referring to the size of this child's foot. He is referring to the size of the Trivikrama's foot from the Vamana Trivikrama avataram. You see, when that avataram, he covered all the worlds with his feet. So in that sense, this is a very interesting use of the word Adi Arnda Vayyam, a world which is only as large as his foot. So you see, he's comparing 2 different things. On the one hand, he says the child has consumed only something only as large as his foot, but really he's referring to the foot of Trivikrama from the Vamana Trivikrama avataram. And of course, there you know that his foot covered all the worlds, and Adiyarnda Vayyam kundu. So that's why this Pradipadi Bhayankaram Annangaracharya, who's one of the Vyakhyanakartas, says, Emperuman amudu seida ulagam, avan thanadu thiruvadi alave aanadu என்று ரசோக்தியாக சொல்வதற்கு பாங்காக மூலம் அமைந்திருக்கிறபடி. That is, even though he consumed a lot, he was, Sri Nammarvar also wanted to say, no, it's only as small as his feet. Adi Arnda Vayyam undu. So a world, Vayyam is world. Adi Arnda, which means it's only the size of his feet. Undu, consuming that. All ilai, on the banyan leaf. Annavasam seyyum. So annavasam is really, when you have, in Tamil we say unda mayakam. After you've had a heavy meal, the typical South Indian meal with a lot of rice. So you've had that bonanza of starch-filled food. So after that, the first thing you want to do is to lie down under the creaky ceiling fan that goes taku, 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 and kind of sings a lullaby for you. So that annavasam, that's really that undamayakam, the sleep induced by the food that you have consumed. That's what this annavasam is. And that's what he is doing after he has consumed the worlds, because the food that he has consumed makes him sleepy. Alilai annavasam seyyum padi yadum il. Padi means equal, yadum il, kuravi padi. This padi means something different. So this kuravi, this kurandai who has no equal, the kuravi padi means the form of a kurandai, form of a child. So assume the form of a child that has no equal at all. And he's my father, Endai, Piran is my lord, Tanakku. And then he goes on to say, I am the adiyar of his adiyar of his adiyar of his adiyar, etc. Okay? But you see, Ambuli, how beautifully Nammarvar says that what he consumed was only as small as his little foot. But you ought to realize that means that his foot is large enough to cover all of the worlds. Okay? Okay. So that is what various Arvars have said about this Pralaya Kalam and what my son did at the time of the Pralaya Kalam. Okay? Okay, so here is the poetic translation. He's so puny and only a child. Think not thus, I do warn, please no scorn. On a banyan leaf he once reclined, this little child who had swallowed the world. In a blink with no trouble he'll spring, and will capture you if he's provoked. That contempt, O full moon, please do wipe. and do hurry with glee in your heart. Okay, let's try to chant it. Balagan yendru, Balagan yendru, Paribavam seyyel, Paribavam seyyel, Pandoru naal ஆலின் இலை வளர்ந்த, Pandoru naal ஆலின் இலை வளர்ந்த, சிறுக்கண்ணவனிவன், சிறுக்கண்ணவனிவன், மேலழப்பாய்ந்து, மேலழப்பாய்ந்து, பிடித்துக் கொள்ளும் வெகுளுமேல், பிடித்துக் கொள்ளும் வெகுளுமேல், மாலை மதியாதே, மாலை மதியாதே, மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவா, மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவா. Okay, so you saw an explicit threat from Yashoda, which says that he will not hesitate to spring up and grab you. So take that into account in your calculations, in your computations, if you will. Okay, and that explicit threat you will see will continue in subsequent pAsurams as well. Okay, so here, this pAsuram number 8. So here Yashoda is essentially going to say, don't underestimate him because you think he is small. If you think he is small, just go and ask that Mahabali what he did as a youngster. You see, Mahabali also thought he was dealing with a small, puny person in that little Brahmin brahmachari who came to his yagam and asked for the yachakam. So just go and ask this Mahabali, this Chakravarti Mahabali, what my son did as a youngster, if you think he's too small. Okay, so that's the kind of bottom line message that Yashoda gives in this pAsuram. Okay, here's the summary. Oh, full moon. Again, every chance she says you're full, you're glorious, etc. So trying to flatter him. Oh, full moon, you seem to be mocking my son that he is puny. You had better cut it out. If you have any doubts that my son is really glorious, just go and ask that Chakravarti Mahabali about my son's exploits as a young boy. He too thought that my son was young, but he was taken for a ride. And so just go and ask that Mahabali about my son's exploits as a young boy, and believe me, prepare to be shocked, because what he tells you is going to surprise you. It's going to shock you, etc. And so that's one thing. So there's already somebody who misunderstood him or underestimated him and paid the penalty for this. So that's one message that she's conveying. And then the other thing that she's saying is, ultimately, everybody wants to be his, everybody wants to do kainkaryam to him. Everybody wants to become my son's servant. So in your case, even though you have been contemptuous so far, you have been disdainful so far, if you truly realize that it was a great sin to think low of him, you can still repent, O Ambali. Then you will qualify for what all the Chetanas pray for all the Bhagavatas pray for, which is essentially to do kainkaryam to him. So you see, so she's trying to say this Lord is very forgiving. So even though you've not been good until now, if you repent now, then the Lord will forgive you because he has a great big heart, and then you will qualify for doing what everybody wants to do to him or for him, kainkaryam. So don't give up that opportunity, O Ambali. My son, this Tirumala of stupendous glory, is still calling you to come in a hurry, and how fortunate you are, because everybody wants to do service to him, and he is calling out to you. So he, of all the things in this world, he has picked you out, and he wants you to come and play with him. So that makes you very fortunate, Ambali. Realize that and rush and come and play with him. So that's what Yashoda says. And now the Padavurai, word by word meaning. Siriyan yendru en ilam singattai igarel kandai. So igarel again means don't mock him. don't disrespect him, don't speak low of him. Igarel Kandai, Kandai means OC, Kandai, so don't mock him. Syrian Yendre, oh, he's only a little boy. Syrian means a small boy. Syrian Yendre, Yen Ilam Singam, my lion cub, she says. Singam is lion. Ilam Singam means the cub, the lion cub. So that this lion cub of mine, don't mock him as, oh, he's just a little boy. It's okay, Kandai, warning. It's more or less a warning. I'm warning you now. See, Ambuli, take note. That's what Kandai means. Sirumayin Vartaye. Vartai normally refers to words, but Varta in this context means exploits. Sirumayin Vartaye, the exploits of the child, Sirumayin Vartaye, Mavaliyadai Chendrukel. Just go to Mahabali, Chendru means go to, this Mavali is Mahabali. Go to that Mahabali and ask him, Kail means ask him, what his exploits were as a child. So that's from the reference to the Vamana Trivikrama Avataram. So he will tell you a lot of stories, and I want you to take that to your heart. And then Yashoda touches on this idea that even though he has not been good so far, he still has an opportunity to repent. Ni kannatla kai potundu na senjadu tappunu sonnenaka avan unna mannichiduvan adana adukapra nee avanukku kainkariyam pannalam. That's essentially what she is saying. Sirumai pizhai kollil, that is, if you realize Sirumai pizhai kollil, that is, it was if you realize that it was a sin to think him puny. Pizhai means sink, to think. Sirumai means to think him puny. Kollil, that is, if you realize that. Niyum one tevaikku uriyai kan. Tevai in this case refers to the kainkariyam. Uriyai means eligible to. So you will be eligible to do kainkariyam. Niyam one tevaikku uriyai kan. You see, you will also become eligible to do kainkariyam to him. That's something that every Chaitanya, that every Bhagavata really wants to do, trying very hard to do. So you have an opportunity to repent and get to that state. Niraimadi, so Niraimadi is O full moon, O glorious moon. Again, the flattering. Nedumal, Viraindu Unnai Kuginran. Mal, of course, Tirumal. Nedumal means that the Tirumal of great glory. Viraindu Unnai Kuginran. Kuginran means he's calling, Unnai means you. Viraindu means he's asking you to come in a hurry. So Niraimadi, O full moon. This Tirumal of great glory is calling you to come in a hurry. Okay, so that's the meaning of this pasuram. So a couple of things here. She says, go ask Mahabali, and he will tell you lots of stories because he also underestimated my child. And secondly, you can still get to doing kainkarians for him if only you will realize and repent for your mistake. Okay, so let's try to elaborate on some of these aspects. So here Yashoda is saying, Yen ilam singattai igarel kandai. Don't make fun of my lion cubs, she says. Lion cub, also Ambuli, realize that he is not just an ordinary child to me. He's a lion cub. So you associate great valor, great strength with the lion, and that's what I associate with my little son as well. So he's not an ordinary child, he's a lion cub. And Ambuli, I'm not the only one who is calling him a lion. There are many others ahead of me who have called him a lion as well. In Tirupavai, Sri Andal says, Yerarnda Kanni Yashodai Yalam Singam. So Sri Andal pays a tribute to me first. She says, Yerarnda Kanni Yashodai, the one who has beautiful eyes, that Yashoda. I don't know if I deserve that or not, Ambuli. But whatever she says next, I know that is true. Yalam Singam. This Yashoda's Yalam Singam, this Yashoda's lion cub is that little Krishna, and that part I know, Ambuli, is very true. So you know that Sri Andal is calling him a lion cub, and that's not the only place where she refers to him as a lion. In Tirupavai 23, she gives a very elaborate description of Ambuli. She creates a beautiful imagery that compares him to a lion that has been woken up from sleep and is angry and is roaring. So she says, Mari Malai Marangel, Manni Kidandurangum, Siria Singam, Arivutru Tivirithu, Veri Mayurbonga, Yepadum, Perundudari, Muri Nimirundu Purangi Purapattu, she says. So here again, Ambuli, she is comparing my son to a serious singam, compared to a glorious lion. Marimalai Muranjil Manik Kidandurangam, sleeping in the mountain's cave in the rainy month with its mate. Serious singam, that glorious lion, Arivutru Thiviritu, waking up and opening his fiery eyes. Arivutru Thiviritu, that ought to strike fear in the hearts of other animals, of the other enemies of that lion. Arivutru Thiviritu, so the eyes are spitting fire, she says. Very Mayurbonga Yapadum Perndudari, stretching his strong muscles and letting out a giant roar. So shaking its mane of hair in all the directions. That's what Very Mayurbonga Yapadum Perndudari means. Very Mayurbonga Yapadum Perndudari. Muri Nimandu Murangi Purapattu, Muri Nimandu stretching his strong muscles and letting out a giant roar, a fear-inducing roar, a blood-curdling roar aimed at his enemies. And that's what she compares my son to. So take note, Ambuli, my son is really a lion. And you know what? He's a lion in more than one sense. It's not just that he is like a lion. He actually was a lion in one of his avatars, Ambuli, the avataram known as Nrisimha avataram. And in periyAzhvAr refers to that avataram very beautifully. He almost tells the whole story. He says, Palliyil Odivanda Tansiruvan, refers to Prahladan and his father, Hiranyakashipu. So, Palliyil Odivanda Tansiruvan, Vayil Ayiranamam, Ulliya Ahi Poda Angu Adanukku, Undrumor Puruppilanagi, Pillai Siri Vehundu Thun Pudaipa, Pirayai Channel Veri Pedvai, Elliya Singam Ahiyadevai, Thiruvallikkeni Kandene. You know, Ambuli. So this Hiranyakashipu, this Asura, he had a nice son called Prahlada. This Prahlada's heart was set on Emperor, but this Hiranyakashipu was all about himself. He wanted his son to learn his glory. So he sent him to school, sent him to a teacher to teach him all about his glory. So that Palliyil Odivanda Tansiruvan, that his son that was sent to the school, sent to a guru to learn all about this Hiranyakashipu's glory. When he came back, what did he have on his mouth? In his mouth, he had words. What kind of words? Vayu or Ayiram Namam Shulli. He had this Sahasranamam. When he came back, his mouth was mouthing this Sahasranamam or Ayiram Namam. This or in Tamil normally means one, Ambuli, but here Tirumangayalvar is saying the one and only, that glorious, the one that has no equal whatsoever, Vayil or Ayiranamam, so that incomparable Sahasranamam that sings the glory of Emperman, that's what he had in his mouth, Vayil or Ayiranamam. It's not just that he was mumbling, he was saying it very clearly, Ulliya Agi. So he was saying it very clearly. Spashtamaga solli kondirundan. So it was bad enough that he was mouthing the Sahasranamam, but he was doing it spashtamaga. He was doing it very clearly, and you can see how angry this Hiranyakashipu must have become. Aga Oda Angu Adanukku Ondrum or Puruppilan Agi. So Hiranyakashipu, he became Poruppu Ilan Age. So normally you would think of Poruppu Ilan means, became irresponsible. No, that's not what it means. It means Avanal Porukku Mudiyavillai. So he had no patience at all for this kind of learning on the part of his son. Adanukku Ondrumor Puruppilan Agi. He could not bear it at all that his son was singing the praise of Emperman rather than of Hiranyakashipu himself. So Pillai Siri Vagundu Thun Pudaipa. So what did he do? He got very angry with his Pillai, with his son. And how angry did he get? Look, Tirumangayalvar says it beautifully, Ambuli. He says Sirinanavan. He got angry. And then what did he do? He Vagundanavan. He got angry again. So you see, this is in Tamil, Ambuli, it's called Oruporul Panmori. Siri and Vagundu, they both mean he got angry. So Varuporul Panmori means one meaning, multiple words. So look how beautifully Tirumangayalvar uses that Varuporul Panmori artifact to convey how angry this Hiranyakashipu was. Pillai Siri Vagundu, he got angry, and he got angry with his son he broke the pillar. And what came out of that pillar? Well, that is history now, Ambuli. The lion came out, this Emperman came out in the form of a half lion, half human being. And do you know how scary it was? It had periyAzhvAr, it had teeth that were like the crescent of the moon. So the canine teeth that you can see here, so they were very pronounced, that they were very scary. So they looked like the crescent. Tamil goraipal என்று சொல்வார்கள் அம்புலி. periyAzhvAr. So he had that goraipal, anal viri. So his eyes were spitting fire, anal viri, periyAzhvAr, and his mouth was very, very big. That's how scary this lion was. And you know, the rest is history. He split the body of Hiranyakashipu and took care of him. That Telliya Singam Ahiya Devai Thiruvallikkeni Kandene. That lion, I saw that lion in Thiruvallikkeni Pathasarthi Perumal. Isn't it beautiful? But I want you to know, Ambuli, that he is lion not just because he looks like a lion, but he has really been a lion in one of his avatarams. Okay. And another thing, Ambuli, in this pasuram, I told you, Sirumayin Vartayai Mavali Idai Chendrikir. You know, there are many, many Arvars who have sung the glory of this Mahabali, this Vamana avataram in Thiruvaimuri. You know, in Thiruvaimuri, this Parankusha Nayaki, Sri Nammarvar assumes the role of a Nayaki. It's called Parankusha Nayaki. And he specifically is sending the swans as messengers. And she says, Vidinal Pradaimanakkum Mennadai Annangal, Madinal Kuralmanai Ulahiranda Kalvarke. He used his mind, he used his brain, and then Kural Manai. Manai, Kural means a short, Manai means Manakan, Manavan, that is a student of the Vedas. So as a student of the Vedas who was very short, so a Brahmin was a brahmachari who was short, and he was a student of the Vedas. And what he did was he went to that yagam, and Ulagu iranda kalvarku, Ulagatai yachakamaga keta and the kalvarku. See, beautifully, this Parankusha he refers to him as a thief, because you see, he represented himself one way and then turned into something else. And he did it very beautifully with it by, he really schemed, he really plotted. But you know, you really have to admire my son's intelligence as well, O Ambuli, because you see, he could have killed Mahabali just like he took care of Hiranyakashipu, but he didn't want to do that, because after all, Mahabali was a very generous person. He gave a lot of charities, and also he was the grandson of Prahlada, and who was a great bhakta of Emperman. So he didn't want to deal with the grandson of his bhakta by just killing him. So he wanted a different approach. So he wanted to go and beg for something which would bring out the greatness of Mahabali, because Mahabali was, after all, was a very generous person. You see, he wanted to do it in a way that would shed some light on the Mahabali's the positive aspects as well, on his generosity. So he decided to go and do Yachagam instead. And of course, he realized that if he went as Trivikrama, then Mahabali might not be able to give him what he wanted. So he might have refused to give that Yachakam, in which case he would have failed in his duty as the Yajna Karta to give Yachakam to people who came and asked. So you see, he did all of these calculations in his mind, and he decided that he should go as this short brahmachari, ask for just 3 steps, and then become a Trivikrama. That way he can bring out the glory of Mahabali as well. So Madinal Kuralmanai Ulagiranda Kalvarke. He used his Madi, he used his intelligence. And then there's another verse in which Tirumangayarvar, as Parakala Nayaki, also in Nayaki Bhavam, says something very interesting, Ambuli, about this Mahabali, about this Vamana avataram. Vandu Kural Uruvai Nimirndu Mavali Velviyil Mannalanda. The interesting word here, Ambuli, is just Nimirndu. So Parakala Nayaki says, well, he came, Kural Uruvai, he came as a short one, and all that he did was our Nimirnda. That is, he straightened himself, and in that process of straightening himself, he expanded to cover all the worlds, you know, reaching up to the Satyalogam, where Brahma is located. Vandu Kural Uruvai Nimirndu. Just by straightening himself up, he was able to reach to all the 7 worlds. Isn't that interesting how Parakala Nayaki describes the way he became huge and covered all the worlds so humbly? Vandu Kural Uruvai Nimirndu Mavali Velviyal Mannalanda. All he did was Aman Nimirndan. That's all he did. Andanar Pon River Ayarkoli. So this Parakala Nayaki looks at this Emperuman in a kshetram called Ashta Bhujakaram, a kshetram in Kanchipuram. So she looks at that Emperuman in Ashta Bhujakaram. She falls in love with him, and then she says, he looks like that Brahmin who went to Mahabali's Yajnam and just straightened himself up. Who might that be? I asked. And this person then said, well, I'm the one who lives in Ashtabhujakaram. And that, of course, is the answer coming from Emperuman. But the point, Ambuli, is that Mahabali knew exactly what trick I played on him. So don't think that you can get away by underestimating what he can do, okay? And finally, Sirumai Pregollil. So if you realize your mistake of thinking him puny, and then you repent, then you will be able to do Kainkariam to him. So because he is a very forgiving Lord, this Emperuman is. periyAzhvAr in one of his verses says, Tannadiyar Tirattagattu Tamarayal Agilum Sidaguraikkumel Ennadiyar Adu Seydar Seyyar Seydarel Nandru Seydar Enbar Polum. You know, this great Lord is very forgiving, and he has a very high opinion of his Bhagavatas. So you better repent and become a Bhagavata, because what he thinks of the Bhagavatas is this. He says, Tannadiyar, even if Tamarayal, even if Sri Devi makes a complaint about one of the Bhagavatas, Tannadiyar Tirattagatte, that is about one of the Bhagavatas, even if Sri Devi Sidagu Uraikkumel, Sidagu means a complaint, if she were to lodge a complaint against one of the Bhagavatas, what do you know what this Lord would say? Ennadiyar adu seyyar. No, there's no way that my Bhagavata could have done that. And Seydarel, and even if he had done that, Nandri Seydar Enbar Polum, he did only the right thing, because in that circumstance, that was the right thing to do. So you see, he's very forgiving, Ambuli. And even in Tirupavai, Sri Andar clearly says that to be a servant of Emperuman is what we should all be trying to do. Yattraikum Ere Piravikkum Undannodu Utrome Avom Umakke Nam Atsaivom. So that's what you should be trying to do as well. You should be repenting for your underestimating my son, and you should try to do Kainkariam to him, and believe me, he will forgive you. So okay, so that's what Yashoda says to Ambuli. And on this page, we have the poetic translation of this pasuram. So let's say it goes like this. He's a lion, my cub, don't you dare. In your ignorance, puny, don't mock. His exploits as a youngster, please ask. That great king who gave 3 feet of land, now acknowledge your sin and repent. So to serve him that right you can earn. O full moon of great glory, this Lord, he is calling, so hurry and come. Okay, now the chanting. Siriyan yendru en ilam singattai, Siriyan yendru en ilam singattai, Igarel gandai, Igarel gandai, Sirumayin vaartayai, Sirumayin vaartayai, Mavaliyidai சென்றுகேள், Mavaliyidai சென்றுகேள், சிறுமைப் பிழைகொள்ளில், சிறுமைப் பிழைகொள்ளில், நீயும் உன் தேவைக்குரியைகாண், நீயும் உன் தேவைக்குரியைகாண், நிறைமதி நெடுமால், நிறைமதி நெடுமால், விரைந்துன்னை கூகின்றான், விரைந்தென்னை கூகின்றான். Okay, now the full pasuram. Siriyanendren ilam singattai, இகழேல் கண்டாய் சிறுமையின் வார்த்தையை மாவலியிடைச் சென்று கேள் சிறுமை பிழை கொள்ளில் நீயும் உன் தேவைக்குரியை காண் நிறைமதி நெடுமால் விரைந்துன்னை கூகின்றான். Okay, now pasuram number 9. So earlier Yashoda had mentioned that this little child is none other than the one who holds the Sudarshana chakra in his hand. Chakarat Karatavan. So she had said earlier that he has the chakram in his hands. So now she's going to make an explicit threat. She's going to say he will actually use it on you if you are not going to comply with his request. So she says, have no doubt that chakra has your number. Okay, so that's the bottom line message from this particular pasuram. So she says, O Ambuli, look, O glorious moon, that flattery at work again. This son of mine, he loves butter. So here, Yashoda is going to say that he loves butter, and that love for butter is legendary. And with that same love, and he has that same love for Ambuli as well. So this, you see, this is another effort to flatter Ambuli, because so Yashoda is trying to say that he has as much love for Ambuli as he has for the butter. Otherwise, he would not be calling this Ambuli at all. Okay, so she says, this son of mine, he loves butter, and you know his hands are huge. An entire pot of butter can fit in his hand. That's how big his hands are, and he swallows it easily in just one gulp. And all the butter in this Gokulam is not enough to feed him. That's how much he loves butter. And with that same love that he shows toward the butter now, so with that same love, this big-bellied boy is calling you to play O Ambuli. And I told you that he has a mighty disc, that great Sudarshana chakra, that fiery disc. Well, if you ignore him, I guarantee you this, he will fling that disc at you and chop you into smithereens. So if you have any desire to live, un uirin mel unakku aasa irundal. So she makes that major threat. She literally says, Vara urudiyel, un uirin mel unakku aasa irundal. If you have any desire to live, you had better come running quickly and happily. Okay, so this is another pasuram in which an explicit threat is issued so that the moon would comply with little Krishna's request. Okay, now the Padavurai. Tariyil vennai tadam kai ara viringiya. Kai is of course hand. Tadam kai means the big hand. Tadangai ara, so filling his full hand. So the tariyil vennai, the butter in the pot, filling is big hand and swallowing it. Okay, so essentially the butter in the pot, he takes enough to fully fill his big hand and he swallows it. So that's what this means. Tariyil vennai tadangai ara viringiya. And not only that, periyAzhvAr embiran. Perai, of course, is in Tamil we say perai to refer to a big box, a chest, if you will. You know, in the houses of a century ago, they used to have this big chest, treasure chest, if you will, in which they might keep all kinds of things. And the perai refers to that. His belly is as big as that perai, as that chest, she says. That's how big his belly is. periyAzhvAr embiran kandai. So they see, oh Ambuli, note, this Lord, he has a great big belly, and he loves butter so much that he fills his whole hand with butter taken from the pot, and then he swallows it in one gulp. That one who has that great love for butter, unnai kuvihindran, he is calling you. So the implication here is that that same love that he shows toward the butter, he is showing toward you as well. Otherwise, he would not be calling you. And now comes the threat. Ari gundu unnai eriyum. So she says, Ari, of course, refers to that chakra. Ari gundu. So with that Ari, taking that Ari in his hand, Unnai eriyum, he will fling it at you. Eriyum, of course, means to throw it. Unnai eriyum, unmel avan erivan. So he will fling it at you. Ayyuravu illai gaan. Ayyuravu illai gaan. Kunjam kuda sandegame vendam. Ayyam kunjamum vendam. Ayyuravu illai means ayyam kunjamum illai. In Sanskrit, we would say na samshayaha. So that na samshayaha is exactly what this ayyuravu illai is. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Oh, Khan, it's Khan means take note, or see, or I'm warning you. So that's exactly what Yashoda is saying. Arigundu unnai eriyum ayyuravu illai Khan. Vara urudiyel. If you want to live, if you are determined, if you are inclined to live, uiril ஆசை இருந்தால் Mamadi, oh full moon, magirundu, happily, odi, running, ba, come running happily. Okay, so you see, there's no mistaking the message that Yashoda is conveying. If you love your life, you better come down immediately, because he might fling that disc in your direction any moment. Okay, now let's see how we can elaborate on this pasuram. So the pasuram talks about Krishna's love for Vennai, Krishna's love for butter. And so Ambuli, there are a couple of beautiful pasurams that I want you to know about that describe his love for butter. And there's one in Thiruvaimuri which is extraordinarily beautiful, Ambuli, where Sri Nammarvar in this padigam, it's padigam 3.8, it's very beautiful because different verses of this padigam refer to different senses of Sri Nammarvar. And he says, this sense organ of mine says it wants to do this. That sense organ of mine says it wants to do that, etc. So the first one he would say, my mind wants to do this. And the next one he might say, my eyes want to do this. The third one he says, my hands want to do this. So it is his third pasuram where Sri Nammarvar is talking about his hand. So this whole pasuram is almost as if his hand is talking. So imagine, Ambuli, the hands of Sri Nammarvar talking, and there is a little bit of anguish in them, in what the hands say, because they are kind of jealous of other organs. You see, it's almost as if the limbs of Sri Nammarvar are competing with one another. So in the process, they begin to feel envious of the other limbs. For example, in this particular pasuram, which refers to the hands, so it's almost as if the hands are talking. The hands are envious of the mouth. Why are the hands envious of the mouth? Because the mouth is capable of praising Emperman with words. So you see, that ability the hands don't have, right? And similarly, they are envious of the eyes, because the eyes can see Emperman, but the hands cannot see Emperman. So you see, so the hands are envious, and so they have this anguish that they are not able to do justice to Emperman, and they express that anguish. The hands express that anguish in this beautiful pasuram, but by referring to Emperman's love for Vennai, for butter, in an indirect sort of way. So it says here, so this is the hand talking, remember, Ambuli, Vachagame yetta arul seyyum vanavardam nayagane. So it's vanavardam nayagane, O Lord of the Nitya Suris, what you have ordained, O Lord, is kind of unfair, because you have given that power of praising you with words only to the mouth. Vachagame yetta arul seyyum. Only the words can praise you. So that means you have given the mouth a certain higher position than you have given me. Do you think it's fair, O Lord, O Lord of Nitya Suris? Vashagame yetta arul seyyam. Only the words can praise you, and of course only the mouth is capable of using words. I'm not capable of using words. How sad I feel, O Lord. And then something stated, something that is not explicitly stated is about the eyes. Similarly, the eyes can see you, but I'm not able to see you, my Lord. So you have given some of the other senses, sense organs, or the limbs, greater power than you have given me. All I can do is try to do with what you have given me. So that part comes later in the pasuram. And then now that hands are referring to what little Krishna did as a little boy, Ambuli. So listen to this. So here Sri Nammadvar is saying, Nadilam Tingalai Kolviduthu, Veyagambal Vinnai Toduvunda Anayar Tayavane. So what Sri Nammadvar is saying is, Veyagambal. So in the Vey Agambal, Vey means Mungil, so Vey Agambal. So it's in huts that are made of bamboos, Mungil. The Iyer women, what they have done is they have suspended all this butter, etc., in pots and hung them from the ceiling. And then, but it's pitch dark. So imagine the middle of the night, there's absolutely no light at all. But Krishna, he wants to go and steal butter. So he goes into these dark houses that are built with bamboo, with the pots of butter hanging from high ceilings. And then what he does is he gropes with his hand, and when he locates a pot, then what he does is he brings light to it by just smiling with his pearly teeth, which are like the moon, he says. Naal ilam tingalai kolviduthu. So naal ilam tingal, that is a fresh moon. So his teeth are like fresh moon. They are like pearls. So in that sense, even in the dark, you can see they cast a certain amount of light. And so that light is now made to shine on the pot, and now Krishna is able to steal the butter. But then what happens is now the Iyer women, they wake up because they hear the sound, but they cannot see Krishna because the room is dark. So maybe Krishna closes his mouth. So what they do is the way they catch him is by groping in the dark until their hand falls on little Krishna. And then they catch him and then they punish him. You see, so they use their hand to grope, locate him, and punish him. In the same way, I'm going to use my hand and look for you. Of course, I'm not going to punish you, O Emperman. I'm only a lowly hand, but I cannot see you. I cannot sing the praise of you. All I can do is to grope and hope that my hands will somehow get to touch you. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all my hands are capable of doing. And that's all my hands will do. Naalilam tingalai kolviduthu. Tingal refers to the moon, that is referring to the teeth, how shiny they are. Naalilam tingalai kolviduthu, using them to shine light on the pots. Veyagambal vennai toduvunda. So the vennai that was kept in the bamboo huts, adai unda, todu unda. He touched it and he consumed it. On Ayar Tayavane, oh one who is like a mother to all the Iyer women. You see, this is normally Emperman is referred to as Yendai, but in this particular pasuram he is referred to as a mother. He is referred to as the mother of Iyer party women, Iyer party people as a whole, because even the vennai that he consumed, Sri Nammadvar sees it as a medicine that a mother would take so that her breast milk would be nutritious for the child. So in a similar way, he consumed butter so that he could sustain the world, sustain the denizens of I party. That's exactly what Sri Nammadvar is saying. So Vachagame yeta arul seyyum vanavardam nayagane. So there's a tinge of sadness in the first line as the hands look enviously at the mouth, and similarly at the eyes. Naadilam tingalai kolviduthu veyagambal vennai toduvunda anaya tayavane endru tadavum en kaigale. So what my hands will do is they will grope and look for you and hope to touch you. So that's exactly what my hands will do. And then there's another verse from periyAzhvAr Tirumozhi, this time of Ambuli. So where periyAzhvAr, he's talking as if I am talking, as if me, Yashoda, is talking. He's saying, Vaithanayum, Kaindapalum, Vadidairum, Narivannayum, Ittanayum, Petrariyen, Empiran, Ni Piranda Vinnai. So he says, so that Yashoda is saying, Vaithanayum, the neigh that I had put away, the ghee that I had put away, the milk that I had boiled, Kaindapalum, Vadidairum, the curd that I had filtered, the fragrant butter, etc., all of them I had put away. But since you were born, after you were born, I don't know what happened to them. They simply keep disappearing. And therefore, I'm not able to use them. I have not seen them at all. O Empiran, oh my Lord, ni piranda pinnai. Of course, the implication is that he keeps consuming all of them. It does not do that explicitly, O Ambali. So the implication is that my son loves Vennai, and that's why Yashoda is not able to see any of them after the son was born. Yattanayum Sayyapatra, you've been allowed to do all of these things. உன்னை செய்வதற்கு நாங்கள் அனுமதி கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம். ஏதும் செய்யேன் கதம் படாதே. I'm not going to do anything to you. Please do not be angry. முத்து அணைய முறுவல் செய்து, please smile and show your pearly teeth. மூக்கு உறிஞ்சி முலை உணாயே. So come and feed from my breast, and you can sniff while you are feeding. Apparently, feeding children sometimes sniff because the milk that they are consuming, that they are sucking, apparently tries to come out of the nose, and apparently they sniff to keep that milk inside as well. So apparently that's something that periyAzhvAr has noticed, and therefore he has referred to that explicitly in this pasuram as well. But anyway, Ambali, the important thing is my son is a great lover of butter, the great lover of Vennai, and the fact that he is calling you to come down and play means that he loves you just as much as well. Okay? So anyway, here's the poetic translation. And that butter from pots with his hand, he so quickly scoops up and dispatches to his belly that never gets full. Well, that Lord is now calling you, note, and that awesome great wheel that spits fire, he will fling it at you, have no doubt. If your plans do include a long life, that's for Vara Urudiyel, Uirmel Asa Irundal. If your plans do include a long life, O full moon, please do rush and with joy. Okay, now the chanting. Tariyil Vennai, Tariyil Vennai, Tadangai Aravirungiya, தடங்கையார விழுங்கிய பேழை வயிற்றெம்பிரான் கண்டாய், பேழை வயிற்றெம்பிரான் கண்டாய், உன்னை கூவுகின்றான், உன்னை கூவுகின்றான், ஆழிகொண்டு உன்னை எரியும், ஆழிகொண்டு உன்னை எரியும், ஐயுறவில்லைகான், ஐயுறவில்லைகான், வாழ உறுதியேல், வாழ உறுதியேல், மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவா, மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவா. Now the full pasuram. தாழியில் வெண்ணை தடங்கையார விழுங்கிய பேழை வயிற்றம்பிரான் கண்டாய், உன்னை கூவுகின்றான், ஆழிகொண்டு உன்னை எரியும், ஐயுறவில்லைகான், வாழ உறுதியேல், மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவாம். Okay, so we have only one more pasuram, and so I will cover that next week, and then I will also wrap up this padigam and then start something else next week. Okay, so for today we'll just finish with the Charma Slokam. Get that slide out, and you can chant it with me. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunabdhaye, chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu.